What do you think about that policy?
It's really horrendous. I mean, these are the heroes. These are the people who put their lives on the line for each one of us every single day. And to say that just because they would not, she's already said she's in favor of mandates. She's already come out and said that publicly. Every year they pushed more and more mandates. It's because it's a cash cow, Stephen, because there is so much money tied up here, trillions of dollars to be made. I've never met President Trump. I don't know what's going on inside of his head, but he is saying that anyone that mandates vaccinations, any school that mandates that, he's going to pull federal funding from. Facebook actually sent us a message. We had our Facebook page shut down. We just had so many stories like that. Never should have happened in the first place. It was absolutely atrocious. It was really criminal. All the stuff they said was true was not true. And of course, though, they had to keep the propaganda machine going. Every conservative, that's what you call truth tellers nowadays, pundit was saying that they were being censored. I guess controversial conspiracy theories are the synonyms now for the truth.
Recently, Trump announced that he would reappoint and give back pay to military people who were fired for not taking the vaccine. What do you think about that policy?
Well, I think that's great. I mean, unfortunately, it should have been done years ago when this all happened, because it never should have happened in the first place. And I don't want to speak for President Trump, but obviously it seems that he agrees with that because he made this announcement. We had a lot of military personnel contact us here at We The Patriots USA. I am a constitutional law and civil rights attorney, and we are a nonprofit public interest law firm, WeThePatriotsUSA.org. And so we helped a lot of people, including military personnel, during the COVID years who were being fired from their jobs or otherwise threatened. I had one guy, he was going to lose all of his GI benefits. He was 20-year combat veteran in the Army. He was going to lose his GI Bill benefits that he had used to put his kids through college. He was going to have to pay all of that back. And luckily, we were able to help him so that he did not get dishonorably discharged, and he did not lose his benefits. But we just had so many stories like that, and it's really horrendous. I mean, these are the heroes in our country. These are the people who put their lives on the line for each one of us every single day. And to say that just because they would not receive an injection against their will, that they were going to be forced out of the military, was absolutely atrocious. It was really criminal.
Are you concerned about more vaccine mandates if Kamala Harris wins in November?
There's no question. I mean, she's already said she's in favor of mandates. She's already come out and said that publicly. I read something about 2 weeks ago about that. And, for anyone that's surprised, they shouldn't be. You look at the kind of people she makes friends with, the company she keeps, they're pro-farmer people, or, farmer itself. Yes, people talk about President Trump and Operation Warp Speed. I know. And I don't know, deep down inside whether he regrets that or not. I really don't know. He doesn't say he does publicly. I've never met the man. Don met him last week, but I've never met him. My business partner, Don Jolly, met him. I've never met President Trump. I don't know what's going on inside of his head, whether he regrets that or not. But he is saying that anyone that mandates vaccinations, any school that mandates them, he's going to pull federal funding from. That's not going to be very easy. I'm going to tell you from a legal standpoint, because Congress holds the purse strings, taxing and spending power. You can't really do that by executive order, just pull funding from all the schools. So that's not really going to work by executive order. But if he has key people in Congress, maybe he does, who have already agreed to put forth some kind of proposal, then yeah, maybe there's a possibility that could happen. I think that would be great, because I do not think a child's education should be tied to whether or not they receive one or more vaccinations or any medical treatment. I mean, can you imagine if there was a new drug that came out and they said it's going to, whatever, this will improve your life, it'll make you live longer, whatever the justification was, but they forced everybody to take a pill and said, if you don't take this pill, you can't go to school, you can't go to college, whatever. Can you imagine? I mean, that would never be allowed. That would never happen. But with vaccines, for some reason, it's like the sacred cow. And it's because it's a cash cow, Stephen, because there is so much money tied up here in vaccines. The pharmaceutical industry makes more money off vaccines than they do off anything else, off any of their other drugs or biologics. They make more money off vaccinations. And so drugs obviously come with warnings. Your doctor has to tell you. There's package inserts. You watch the commercials on TV. But with vaccines, they pretend that there's absolutely no side effects, which couldn't be further from the truth. My son, I have a personal story, which is how I got involved in this activism. My son was permanently disabled as a result of getting a flu shot when he was just over a year old. So that was over a decade now that I've been involved in this. My business partner I mentioned, Dawn, she's been involved in this for over 21 years. So, we predate COVID, but we're not surprised that it's come to this, because we saw every year they pushed more and more mandates. They were getting rid of exemptions for school children in California, New York, Connecticut, Maine, state by state. They've been trying to eliminate that. And it's obvious what the reason is. There's a lot of money to be made, trillions of dollars to be made.
And what did you make of RFK Jr.'s dropping out of the race, endorsing Trump? And would you like to see him in the Trump cabinet?
I would. I think, now we're a nonpartisan organization, so I'm just speaking personally. I'm not speaking for We The Patriots USA right now, but just me personally, I would love to see him in the cabinet. I mean, he's been working in health freedom and in the realm of children's health for many years, since I think 13 years, I think it's been, that he's been working, and he's had Children's Health Defense and been working to, improve vaccine safety and to protect the lives of children. I think it was the smart move. I think it was the only move, as he himself conceded, RFK Jr. that is, and I know him personally, by the way. I've worked with him. I've been in contact with him very recently as yesterday. He himself admitted there was no path to victory. He said, look, they're not letting me on the ballots in key places like New York. They wouldn't let him run as a Democrat. They were pushing him off the ballots everywhere, all these key races. He said there was no path to victory. So, obviously Harris didn't want to partner with him. I believe, looking at the policies of both Trump and RFK Jr., from my perspective, they have a lot more in common with each other than either of them does with Kamala Harris. And if you look at, I actually wrote a Substack about this. So We The Patriots has a Substack called Free the Law.
What did you make of Facebook or Mark Zuckerberg admitting Facebook was censoring information around COVID on the behest of the US authorities?
Well, we all knew this, right? I mean, so many of us said this was happening. Trump had made comments about it. People, every, conservative, I guess that's what you call truth tellers nowadays, pundit was saying that, they were being censored. We were censored. We had our Facebook page shut down at one point. We were able to restore it. We've been censored. Facebook actually sent us a message saying we're no longer going to show your post, We The Patriots post, in anybody's news feeds, and we won't recommend that people like or follow your page. They actually sent us a message saying that because of the kind of content that we post, because it's health freedom content, it's content about the truth about vaccines, vaccine science, and many other controversial topics. I guess controversial and conspiracy theories are the synonyms now for the truth. But they actually came right out and told us they were doing that. They were going to shadow ban us. So it does not surprise me at all, knowing what the Biden administration was pushing during the last 4 years, during the COVID years, with mandates and all of the propaganda that was being forced on the people about vaccines, which we now know, by the way, the CDC has admitted is not true. It does not prevent the transmission of the virus. It does not mean you won't get COVID. All the stuff they said was true was not true. And of course, though, they had to keep the propaganda machine going. So it makes sense that they would contact the largest social media platforms. And it wasn't just Facebook. It was Twitter at the time as well, although now things are different with Elon in charge. But at the time, it was Twitter and other platforms that the U.S. government was saying, you cannot, publish certain things. You have to suppress certain accounts. To me, that is a First Amendment violation because, yes, Facebook is a private company. Facebook is not subject to technically the First Amendment because it is not the government. But when Facebook is being controlled or taking orders from the government to suppress people's speech, that is absolutely a First Amendment violation. We take on that kind of litigation. I have one lawsuit against another social media platform I can't announce right now because there's a very prominent person that's involved in it that hopefully we'll be able to announce within the next week or so, actually. I wish I could announce it right now on your show, but I can't. But anyone out there who would like to be a plaintiff, who has had, if you have a large following, okay, it's not going to really, unfortunately, set much of a precedent if you've got 5 followers. But if you have a significant following and you did have your information suppressed, now we have evidence. This was from the government. So contact us. Reach out to us. Again, wethepatriotsusa.org. There's a contact form and an email right there. Reach out to us, and we'd like to talk because we want to bring as many of these lawsuits as possible so that we can set a precedent that this is absolutely a constitutional violation and that this can never happen again.
Thank you for watching GBN America. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest and trending US news you want to hear about